Good morning. Oh, got to turn my notes on. So, how are you going? Wow, we left off at day 65. Yesterday, I had a huge win. It was a win for me, okay? Again, to tell you the win, I have to tell you the context. I haven't been very mobile the last year or two. It's interesting how shame can be attached to all of that, right? Like it doesn't feel good saying that. And I have to practice self-love just like everyone, so it's okay. I have to say that. It's okay. But it's still not my ideal life. It's not how I want to live. But the last couple of years has been really difficult with my my legs, just my legs. And again, in my mind, I thought it was just being overweight, and it is being overweight for sure. But it's also good to understand there's a contributing factor that it doesn't make it easy for me when I do make the effort. Okay, so the huge win was we went to the foreshores and sat in I've got a moon chair. I love my moon chair. It's like a chair you use at a barbecue if you're out. We didn't do a barbecue, we just did a dinner picnic thing. Because Carnivore and all the rest. Anyway, but when it was suggested, my first reaction was, yeah, I think I can do it. Now, down on the foreshore, it isn't a lot of walking, so I can't walk really long distances. I just can't, and I can't stand for very long because of the impact on my knees, which I'm believing for it to change. Anyway, but along the foreshore, it's like a whole grassed area on the riverfront, overlooks into the city of Perth, and it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I went, I can do that. I was so excited that my first reaction was yes, not, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it, because that, it's a horrible feeling when you can't do the things that you want to do, right? So we went to the foreshore and we ate dinner there and spent a few hours playing, and it was so good. But this is what I wrote down when I was reflecting on it. Number one, I had no anxiety to go there. Now, I make the effort to do important family dues and all that sort of stuff, but there's just some anxiety because of my mobility, right? And just how I will manage without being a burden on anyone, because, nobody wants that. I don't want that. Number two, so I had no anxiety. To say yes, I had no anxiety at all. I knew I had a really great chair. The moon chair is a really great chair for me. Yes, my feet are not elevated because that is something that does help lipedema. And I do elevate my feet a lot. So that wasn't, and that's a consideration these days that I have to make. So again, I know for many of you, you wouldn't have these considerations, but this is just my life. So I had no anxiety to go. Number two, I haven't been able for a couple of years. I already explained that. Number three, it was awesome. It's always awesome, isn't it? When you're spending time with family, it's always awesome. And what I did, which I will tell you about day 70 yesterday. Oh, we have a little saying that we say to Ellie, our granddaughter, give yourself a clap. So, Martine, give yourself a clap. Anyway, so what I did, this is why prep is so important. You've got to prep the things. I had a viewer asked me if I would make up a pantry list. And it was so funny because I'd already have a document in here of a pantry list that I'm putting together for anyone just starting. Because there's a few staples. There's not a lot, but there's a few staples that may not feel obvious, but it may give you more options if you're wanting to make them or buy them and have them on hand. But this is why batch prep is important. I thought the kids were getting oportos, which is chicken, but I didn't want chicken when we went down there. I just wanted beef. So I said to my husband, well, I can have a couple of Angus patties from McDonald's because I like those. And I'll get a couple of slices of bacon with them because they've got nice, thin, streaky. Is it streaky? Yeah, it's nice bacon, really super thin, and there's some fat on it. It's nice. So this is batch prep. I went into my freezer and grabbed myself a bun, people, a bun. It's my whole egg bread in buns, like round buns, sliced it. I will show you the footage anyway. And so I'm not going to go into yesterday's food now. I'll do that in a tick. But to go into the freezer, I grabbed that. I grabbed another bun. Excuse me. Then I went into my fridge and grabbed my beef butter, another item I prepped. I buttered my one bun, and I sliced it, buttered it, put it back together, wrapped it in a paper towel because with the whole egg bread, I always keep my slices in paper towel because they do lose a little bit of moisture because it's eggs, right? It's just eggs in another form. And I popped it in a Ziploc bag and I made myself up my big jug of water. I made myself a sparkling water soda with my soda stream, and I made myself a hot tea takeaway. I know, I made all the things. I didn't have any jerky. I really wanted to take some jerky, but in my bag, my handbag, I've got one of those jerky sticks that I purchased, and it's got a long shelf life on it, and I keep it in my bag just in case I get stuck. I'm somewhere, and I do get a bit lightheaded when I don't eat. And the whole hunger thing is another video, but so I just keep that in there for emergency, and I've also got my crunchy beef in a jar. I've only got a little bit left in there. I need to make some more, which the eye of round, I'll go into that in a minute. So I had several things. I had my crunchy beef. I had a jerky stick, a big long one of those salami stick, not salami, but a jerky stick if I needed it. It's just a beef stick, really. I had water, tea, a fatty tea, and some sparkling mineral water. Had my burger bun, buttered, and another bun as well, another round bun as well, in there just in case. I knew, and with 2 burger patties and 4 slices of bacon, and the bacon's only that big, right? It's not very big. I knew I could only eat 1 patty and 2 slices of bacon in 1 bun. I knew that's maybe even only half of it, which I did. I only had half, and then I had half later. But because that bread is filling. It's filling, yeah. But it was just amazing to get out. Like, it's always good to spend time with family, but it's not that so much. Like, I always love spending time with family. What was amazing was that I didn't even hesitate. Yeah. I was like, yeah, yep. And my husband was like, will you be okay? You know, like bless him. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. And I was okay. So that was a huge win for me yesterday. I was actually looking forward to it because we organised it earlier in the week. I was actually looking forward to winning, like on Sunday. Winning. Today's Monday. Yesterday was Sunday. And I just want to enjoy that moment for a second. To be able to even say it, I know it might seem small to you, but it's massive for me. Massive to even be able to share and celebrate with you, actually, with you. I was looking forward to actually telling you about it. Anyway. On that note, my legs feel easier to lift. I think I mentioned it in another video, but they're still feeling easier to lift. I don't know. Maybe part of me thinks it's going to go back to being the way it was, because I've failed so many times. I've succeeded and I haven't found anything that keeps working for a long time. Like I say, the HCG diet does work for me, but it is a diet. It's not a way of life. So I can't just stay on it. So, yes, prep. I think prep is probably another video. But I've done a lot of prep the last few days because that's what happens. If I don't prep, then I'm stuck for the food that I want. And that will cause me to go off plan. I haven't gone off plan because I keep prepping food. All right, let's get on to what I've been eating because we're at 13 minutes already. I will see if I can edit that down. But it's important. I just want to say that there's this thing on YouTube about whether you should make short videos or long videos. I actually think you should make the video that you need to make. That's my personal opinion. And I suppose you can fast forward at any time. I try and put chapters in. Most of the time I put chapters in, so you can just flick if you want to flick. That's absolutely your decision to make. So cheers. Let's do the coffee. I haven't had coffee for days and days, maybe a week. So when I took my first sip this morning out at the coffee centre when I was making it, I went, oh, that's strong. But that's because I haven't had coffee for so long. It's delicious. Vanilla. Okay, so Wednesday was day 66. Did I say it's day 71 today? 71 days on Carnivore. Woohoo! I'm pretty proud of myself. Wednesday was day 66. I had egg yolk in my coffee. Now, I had a different type of coffee that morning, and my first sip, it was good. It was okay. It was okay. Oh, do I want to keep having it? I'm not sure. So I will give it another go because that's what I'm like. Unless I really don't like something, I will keep trying it. I'll try to make it better. I know this is a little bit unconventional. I'm just getting the rest of the egg yolk. Not that you need to do this, but I thought I'd show you anyway because, I'm extra like that. So I don't know. Let's have a look. I'll show you the colour of the coffee. Let me pour it back in. Ready? I'm going to try and do this. And hold it at the same time. It's not easy. It's not easy. All right. I'm going to call that done. Let me show you. I'm going to call that done. Sorry for all the weird angles. I will get better at this. Just takes me a minute to work it all out. Well, I'm very happy with that. Calling that a win. That's my bulletproof coffee this morning. I think it's decaf. I really can't remember what I put in all of my, I've got a few left. I'm pretty sure I put decaf in them. And then I've got a stack that I have to fill. I've got to refill them. All right, I'm going. Then I had some beef belly burnt ends and half a Scotch ribeye. Did I cut that in strips? I'm not sure. It was a few days ago now. Then I had a coffee puck and a cinnamon puck and a choffle with some butter. Now, I think technically that was a choffle, but I'm just warning you now, I'm making a video on moffles and poffles. I'm warning you. I've already had a bit of hate mail on Facebook for the term beef butter. I don't know why. I shouldn't say I don't know why it upsets people. I think we just get used to our things, right? I'm sure I've got things that I'm used to as well. But I was just like, wow. I mean, a couple of people swore at me because they didn't know what beef butter was. Anyway, but all my life I have loved naming things. It's just the way I am. When I ran a cafe in the city for a while, our point of difference, I started off actually with raw food, obviously cooked food, but putting a point of difference in for raw food. I attracted a lot of vegans because they could eat, because it was all plant-based raw food, so they could eat that. And then I evolved into paleo, the Whole30 movement, paleo, keto, me personally. So of course I put those menu items, recipes in the cafe. And I mention it because my kids make fun of me because I would you have to name things. You can't put something on a menu and not name it, right? So you work out names for stuff, and it's just, I've been naming things long before that, but it's just who I am. And so now I'm making recipes up and I'm tweaking them, and I do my version of everything, as you should do your version of everything. And you should rename it if you want to rename it. It's totally up to you, right? Excuse me. So that's why I want to do poffles and muffles, not just truffles. Okay, and there's a good reason for it. It's not just a silly name, but I will share that with you in that video. All right, so then I had some curry, guys. I had curry. I had curried beef, chuck steak. My husband made a curry. I didn't have anything with it, or I've been eating curry by itself for quite a few years now. My husband's Anglo-Indian, as I think I've mentioned, and curry is a staple in this house. So I love musam curry. He made that. Yes, he used a paste, and yes, it's got spices and I don't know what else in it. To be honest, I haven't looked, and I'm not bothered about it. I'm good. So I'll show you the bowl of that. Now, when he gave it to me, it had a lot of oil on top. So I actually sat and spooned all that off, because that I can't do that. And I haven't really talked about this, but when I decided to increase my fat and do high fat carnivore, I made a decision not to do hot liquid fat, because I already know from experience that causes diarrhea. Just straight away, toilet all day long. So that's why I made the whipped tallow, why I wanted to have tallow bites and cold fat, like butter if I could have it. And I have it every now and again, and I partly pay the price for it. Anyway, I had some curry. Tea with cream, delicious. And then I had some brisket and pork belly later on. I tend to have, if it's not really fatty and really beefy, my meal, I've noticed I have another small snack an hour or two later. And some of that's connected to the size of it. I think it's actually a nutritional need. I think that's what's happening, because other times when I have like a lot of those fatty bites or something, the fat crackle, I didn't even think about food. I don't think about it at all. So, and that day the fat for that day on Wednesday was 174 grams. Tick. Yes. Thursday, I was on a rendering tallow and prepping IHERB. I had pork belly and some Wagyu fat crackle in the morning. And then I went all day, and I only noticed this when I was making notes, at 4 o'clock. That was in the morning. And then at 4 o'clock, I ate. So that's what I mean. See that? There you go. Look at that. I didn't plan this. Pork belly and the Wagyu fat trim, it's like a massive fat bowl for me. Pork belly is one of the ways I'm getting my extra fat, because they're like natural fat bites, fat bombs. And the Wagyu fat trim, that's a complete fat bomb. And look at that. I didn't even think about food until 4 o'clock in that afternoon. The reason I know I didn't think about food is because I didn't have anything. 4 o'clock, I had half a scotch with some Girello steak strips. Now, that's the eye of round. Here in Australia, we call it Girello, but it's the eye of round. And I was prepping it, and so I kept some of it because I wanted to just throw it in the air fryer and see what it was like, not sous vide, because I got like 4 kilos of it. I sliced it all up into steaks, thick pieces of meat, and I sous vide all of it. All of it, except I kept this little portion to cook. Now, it was okay. It was not soft and pull apart tender, cooked from raw, just in the air fryer. And after I'd cooked it, I did not put the butter. I kept the butter separate, the beef butter. It's white, the beef butter. I kept it separate so that I could have it cold. And I just got my knife and I spread it on each bit of steak because it's very lean. That steak is very lean. The scotch is obviously not. Cup of tea with cream, and then I had a 16-gram cinnamon puck and a fatty tea later. And then I had some bread. Did I toast it with beef butter? Oh, that's right. I did toast it. And I wanted to try the pork belly fat that I've been keeping in a jar versus the beef butter. And they were both delicious. I think the beef butter won for me, but the pork belly fat, I would eat that all day long. And that's actually what I used the last time I made butter mayo. I'm calling it butter mayo because it's a spread. I was mucking around this morning with myself and I went, butter mayo. Can we go bayo or can we go mutter? Mutter's a bad name. And in my head, I can hear my kids, my grown-up kids saying, Mom, stop it. Anyway, you never know. I could end up, bayo could be a thing. Maybe. I don't know. What would you call it? If it was a blend between butter and mayo, it's not as thin as mayo, but it's technically got all the egg yolks. Now, the last time I put too much vinegar, I only put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it, but it was too much. I'm going to try a dash of lemon juice. I don't even know if we've got any lemons because I don't keep track of that anymore. Sam might have one. I only need a squeeze. I'm hesitant to put any acid in it because you could tell it was really strong. The apple cider vinegar was really strong in the last batch. And of course I ate it, but I was like, next time I make that, I'll make that a lot less. That was delicious. And then I've got here cheese and ham. I had some cheese and I had some ham on the toast. That's what I did. Like toast with ham and cheese on it. I tell you what, I actually did tea and toast. It's this next day. Friday? Yeah, Friday. So Friday. So that was day 67, 185 grams of fat. So I'm very happy with myself. Day 68 was Friday. And we have little girl, our granddaughter Ellie, on Fridays. And I made tea and toast. Incredible. And do you know what? I made myself a cup of... I've been drinking tea with a little bit of cream in it, my plant cream. And I made this... I thought, I'm going to toast this bread. And I put beef butter on it. I love that beef butter, I tell you. It helps me so much in my mind, because of dairy, you know. I'm the sort of person that I don't want to force myself to eat something I don't like. So I've been on a quest for quite some time now. Yes, I've got a broken nail. I'm consciously aware of it. I've been on a quest for quite some time to replace the dairy in my life. I mean years. I don't mean months. I mean years. Beef butter on it. So good. Like a happy replacement for butter for me. Like happy. Love it. Love to eat it. Want to eat it. Nice. And it just reminded me of my nana. My nana used to make me a hot cup of tea and she used to butter my toast with butter. And then she used to she taught me how to dip my toast in tea. And it was delicious. I loved it. And it's a food memory from my childhood. And when I made that tea and toast on Friday, just reminded me of my nana. No, I didn't dip my toast in my tea. I didn't do that. But it was actually a really special moment. I'm feeling a little bit emotional right now. It's actually a really special moment for me. I loved it so much. I actually used it as I put it up as my post on YouTube, and then I thought I'd share it in some of the Facebook groups, and it did a mini viral thing. It just went a little bit crazy in there. And then everyone wanted the whole egg bread recipe, right? Which I actually didn't plan that. I felt so, it was so special for me just having that moment. that was why I shared it. And then I'm still getting messages asking, and I posted, so then I had to go and then share the link for the bread, and now the bread recipe is going a little mini viral. Yeah, which is good. It's good. Just surprising. I didn't expect that. So that day I had tea and toast, then I had some steak strips, and of course Ellie had some too, because whenever I eat steak, she always wants Nanny's steak, which is great. Love that. Had a cinnamon puck, and then a ham sandwich. Yes. And have you ever seen the pastrami? Somewhere in America, I think it's in Chicago, they're famous for this massive big pastrami sandwich. That's what I tried to make a little ham baby version, because my slices of bread are half a slice of normal bread. So 2 slices of bread is equivalent to 1 slice of normal bread. And so I tried to stack up the ham in it, and then I sliced it to show you. I'm sort of thinking of that famous pastrami sandwich in America. All right, then I had a beef bowl with bacon and cream cheese. Yes, I know. I've had a bit of dairy. I had a slice of cheese the night before because Paul had bought some cheese. We don't have it in the house very often, but he bought it for, I don't know, something he was eating. And I've got some lactose-free cream cheese, and so I've kept it there just so, exactly for this reason, so that I can have it when I want it, so that it doesn't nag my brain and cause me to go off. And these are the allowances that I've made myself, because you've got to remember, this is my way of eating, right? You've got your way of eating, and you have certain allowances that you make yourself too. And you might be really 100% strict. You might not even have seasonings, but they're the allowances you've made yourself, right? I've got my allowances that I've made myself. So, why am I saying all that? Because I shouldn't really have dairy. No, see, shouldn't is a guilt word, isn't it? My body doesn't like dairy, but I had it anyway. There, Martine. Take that, Martine. And then I had a bit more ground beef because I cooked up my Harvey beef. I got some Harvey beef, minced meat, we call it here, but I do like the term ground beef. I think it actually sounds nicer than minced meat. Minced meat, yeah, is minced meat. And that day I got in 125 grams of fat. So I was close, but still I've been on a good run. Saturday was day 69, the weekend. We've just had the weekend. And I had a cup of tea, and then I had some steak and some of my beef belly burnt ends. Game changer. They're like a fat bomb. There are some foods that are like fat bombs. Pork belly, the fat crackle, the beef crackle. You can also get lamb crackle, and you can also get chicken skins. They're all fat bombs. So is the beef belly burnt ends, and even brisket, the point end of brisket, that's a fat bomb too. So natural fat bombs, they're definitely, if that's sort of the way you're eating, they're definite winners. Whipped tallow, that's actually a natural fat bomb. You just have to, it's not just like, it requires some processing, which is rendering, purifying, and then whipping. That's the processing it requires. And then you've got to put it into the mold that you want. And I'm nearly finished my video on rendering tallow, which will be up in the next day or two. So then I did making tallow, cooked tallow bites. I make notes just to remind me, because when I do so many days in a row, a lot happens in a day here. And then I had a cup of tea, and then a soda stream, sparkling. And then for, lunch. I wrote lunch further down. But lunch, I had 2 fried eggs on top of some beef mince. And that picture is terrible that I took. I'm just telling you. It looks all black. It actually wasn't, but the light that I took it in was terrible. And then for dinner, I had some crunchy pork belly and beef crackle. So again, that was a massive fat bomb bowl for me. Like, that's how I know, like, when I'm craving something like that, I know I haven't had enough fat in the day. And so I'm learning this stuff about myself, because my body is definitely fat adapting, definitely. Because now, when I'm low on energy, what I think about is fat. I'm not thinking about carbs. I don't even know I'm not. I mean, I haven't had bread for years. So what would I normally think of for carbs? Vegetables. I can't even think right now. My brain. Now I'm instantly thinking of, oh, I need to have some fat crackle. That's what I'm thinking of. Some beef crackle or some pork belly, because they are the most natural fat bombs that are the easiest. And I do twice cook everything, really. Prepping is the first cook, when I batch prep it first. And then I finish it off. So I always 80% cook my food, 80 to 90% when I batch prep. And then when I finish it off is in the last 5 minutes. It literally takes me 5 minutes to make my lunch or my dinner, or a snack if I'm having a snack, which isn't very often these days, because I'm not using food anymore. Who knew? Wow. And then I had a late night cinnamon because I don't think I felt like I had enough fat that day. I had 166 grams of fat that day, but I remember that night, that was 2 nights ago, I remember that having that cinnamon puck because I was just thinking about food, which I know means that I need some more fat. Oops, what am I licking my finger for? So I just went and grabbed a cinnamon puck, and I said to myself, these are the urges that I was talking about in another video, another vlog. I said to myself, I hear you. You want something more. I'm going to go and get a cinnamon puck. I thought about cooking something, and I went, oh, I can't be bothered. So I went and got a cinnamon puck, and then I didn't need anything else. That was 16 grams of fat. The cinnamon ones are square, the square ones, which are the bigger ones. They're 16 grams. I probably would have gone and got another 8 gram and another 8 gram, and then because what I'm trying to do is just see, what do I need? I'm listening to you, body. I'm listening to you. Okay. And then yesterday was day 70. Listen, if you don't celebrate yourself, who's going to celebrate you, right? You need to celebrate yourself. I'm celebrating me. I'm having a bad hair day today, just letting you know that. This is why I put my fringe up, because I've been playing around with my rollers again, and it was good. It was okay. It was good. But then the day after, it's like, okay, I'm not sure what's going on right now. Anyway, I digress. So yesterday was day 70, Sunday the 14th of April, 2024. Go, Martine. I'm so proud of you, Martine. Give yourself a clap. Yeah. All right. Good. Give yourself a clap right now. How many days have you done carnivore? Or what have you, if you're not doing carnivore, what have you done recently that you are pleased with yourself about? I want you to think about it, say it out loud, and give yourself a clap right now. Do you feel weird? Have you ever done it before? Yeah, it feels weird the first time. But hey, if you just have to encourage yourself sometimes. You just have to. All right. I can see I didn't add this up. I did add it up, and then I was waiting to see what I ate later. And I didn't end up having fat crackle. I'm just making notes here, don't worry. Whilst I'm on, I didn't end up having that. And what did I have late last night? It wasn't late. It was about 9 o'clock. I don't know. I'm going to write it up what I had. What I've got that I had yesterday, I had a cup of tea. Then I had a nice visit with my mum and dad. Then I had a bit of a bowl, a bit of a beef bowl. That's what we'll call it, a beef bowl. Some brisket, some sausage, and a burger patty. I only ate half of that beef bowl. And then I ate the rest a couple of hours later. See, that's what happens to me. Water, a 16-gram puck, and then we were at the Perth Foreshore with the fam. And I've got the beef and bacon burger, which I'll show you. And then I still had beef and bacon, which I did have a couple of hours later. About 3 hours later, I had one more beef patty and 2 slices of bacon, which was delicious. I don't normally like those beef patties cold. I don't like them refrigerated, but I hadn't refrigerated it. So there we go. Just having a sip. It is so delicious. And I think because I haven't had coffee for, I don't know, a week, maybe. It's good. It's good. And then I added that up. There was 103 grams of fat. And I said to myself, okay, I don't normally add up during the day. I normally only add it up when I'm coming to do the video, when I'm doing my vlog. That's when I know what sort of fat I had that day, because I'm I don't want to get into the how many grams of fat am I having? I need to reach 150. I don't want to do all that. So I haven't done all that. And the only reason I know how much is because I've worked it out, but I do it specifically for the vlog, for myself, and for anyone else who's interested. So I worked out I had 103 grams of fat, and I thought, oh, and that was at about 7 o'clock last night. I finished writing this up, and I went, okay, what I could do is I could have some fat crackle later, but I just didn't feel like it. So what did I have? Please hold. I know what it was. Okay. What I did when I got home and I looked at all this and I finished up all the stuff ready for the vlog this morning, I said I've had 103 grams of fat. I still felt like I needed some fat, not necessarily beef, but just some fat. That's what I thought of. But then I wanted to get all the IHERB that I sous vide. I had frozen it all in its packages, ready to pull out one at a time and eat. Anyway, I pulled out nearly all of them. And I had one left, which was some big roasts that I'd cut. I'd cut some smaller pieces and then some 2 big pieces. I pulled that out, put it on the side. That was frozen solid. The other ones that I had pulled out defrosted, I sliced all up and I made beef jerky. I'll show you some footage. And I put it in I was doing that so I don't know, for about an hour I was prepping all the beef jerky. Now there was some pieces which had more fat on them, and I wasn't sure how that would go in the dehydrator. I kept a few pieces with some fat on, but there was just a little bit of fat. This is a Girello. This is an IHERB. It's a very lean piece of meat. So I kept a few pieces, but then all the fatty bits, I thought, I'm going to put them aside, and that's what I'm going to have as a snack. So that is actually what I had later in the evening. It wasn't a snack. It was it's probably about half a cup's worth of beef strips, because I sliced it all up into beef strips for jerky, as you will see. It's so good. I've got to play around with the time a little bit. I did it for 8 hours this morning, or was it 10 hours? Anyway, I put a second batch in those 2 roast big pieces. They were defrosted this morning, so I sliced all that up and put that in. I took all the dried out. So that's exciting. The husband tried it and he said, wow, that's delicious. That's it. 70 days. Wow. I'm really proud of myself. I hope you're proud of yourself for what you're doing. You know, it doesn't matter where you're at. Some of you guys watching me have been doing this way longer than me, and some of you are chatting with me and commenting down below, and you've been doing it longer than I have. And you know, it's not really about that, is it? But it is good to feel good about it, you know, and to celebrate yourself even as a milestone along the way. Like I was having a look at tops on Temu, only because I can just get them really cheap. But then I thought to myself, you know what? I was I think it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was looking at tops and thinking about whether to pick up a couple of tops. And then I went, no, I'm just going to go back into my wardrobe and see what else I can find. So that might have been, it was a few days ago. I found, it must have been Thursday, because I went into my wardrobe and I just started rummaging, and I came across a top, a sleeveless top, because I get warm at nights. I like to wear a sleeveless top, and I thought, I have not worn this since I was doing HCG, which is the thinnest I've gotten to in the last 10 years was when I've done my HCG rounds. So I thought, I'm not sure if this will fit me. It fits me. Like, it fits me. I wore it Thursday. Maybe that was Wednesday night. Yeah, I actually wore it all day because I was feeling so proud of myself that I was like, I'm just going to wear this thing because I can. Anyway, then there's another one, a pink top. Now, I wear black heaps, right? I love black, and it's useful because it doesn't show all the bits and the lumps and the bumps and the whatever. But I've got a white top. I love wearing white. I never wear white. I love white. White looks good on me. I'd never wear it because it just makes everything look bigger. Anyway, and there's this pink top that I bought, and it's a soft pink, but it's pink. It's full on pink. And Ellie was coming, and I thought, oh no. Before that thought, I thought, I wonder if that pink top will fit me. I actually was looking through some photos. That's what it was, and I saw myself wearing it, and I love it. I don't mind me. I've got a mark. I've got pen on myself. I thought, let's see, because like that orange top I've got, I couldn't get it past my belly. I couldn't get it across my chest. Like the last year or two, it's only 3 or 4 years old, that top. I think I've only had it 3 or 4 years, maybe 3 years. But the last year or so, I haven't been able to wear it. So I thought, we'll see. Lo and behold, pulled it on, fits, doesn't pull across my chest, fits over my stomach. Another non-scale victory. And that's when I thought, you know what, I'm not going to wear it now. So I must have tried it on Thursday. I'm going to wear it tomorrow for Ellie, because Ellie will love it, because Ellie's favourite colour is pink and then purple. Used to be purple and then pink, but now it's pink and then purple. We have favourite, because I have 2 favourite colours, so Ellie has 2 favourite colours as well. And no joke, this is what she said to me. So she comes running in when Paul picked her up, and they came home, and she comes running to me, Nanny, 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 and she sees me and she goes, oh, Nanny, I love your pinkness. I love your pinkness. Yep. I said, thank you, Ellie. I knew you would. So that's me. That's me for 70 days on Carnivore. I feel so good about that. I feel so good. Yes. I feel so good. Oh, yeah. So, I did an estimate, 103, that fat bowl, I reckon there was probably, I try not to overestimate, I could say 10 to 15 grams of fat, because I'm going by teaspoons. I don't think I've said this. I heard someone else say this, and I can't remember who it is right now. When you're estimating how much fat is in a meal, because you do have to do it by sight most of the time, unless, like I looked up porterhouse, I looked up Scotch, but even still, you can get a really lean piece of Scotch. So you've got to estimate how much fat can you actually see, right? And they suggested using a tablespoon measure in your mind. Would that fill a tablespoon? Then that's a tablespoon. I prefer a teaspoon, because I find it easier to calculate it that way and to sort of do the... So I reckon there was probably 2 teaspoons of fat, probably max. That's another 10 grams, all right? So I'm just going to add that. That's 113 grams that I had yesterday. So that was under, but I'm very happy with the amount of fat that I've been having. And I do notice that when I'm eating between 100 and 150, it's after the fact. In hindsight, I'm looking back and I'm going, okay, I can see my body is fat adapting for sure, because I'm noticing, I'm feeling like I need more fat. And when I look at those days' numbers, I'm lower in fat those days. So that's why it tells me that my body's liking 150 grams of fat. Well, April the 15th, 16th, what are we? Yeah, it's switched off now, but we're middle of April, I think. And I've been aiming for 150 grams of fat a day. And if you are thinking about doing high-fat carnivore, I just want to say to you, I strongly recommend doing it in increments, so that I have not had a really horrific toilet situation at all. And I'm averaging 150, 160 grams of fat a day now. But I've given myself all of March, all of April, and I'll give myself May as well. I don't know if I'll end up at 200 grams of fat. I don't know. And I'm not going to predict that for myself. I'm not going to try and hit a certain number that everyone else hits, because I don't think that is a good idea. My situation is different. I'm post-menopause. I'm in my 50s. I've got lipedema. I've had vertical sleeve gastrectomy. Like I've had the VSG surgery. I've got all my own. I've got IBS. My body doesn't love dairy. I've got all my own set of stuff, which I could go on and on about. Completely different to your set of stuff, right? So you've got to find, if you're going to do high-fat carnivore, you've got to find the right number for you. And It's like magnesium. When I first started taking magnesium, what I worked out, I did a lot of research and I listened to other people's experiences. The sign you're having too much magnesium is diarrhea. And the going theory is that you take once you get to diarrhea, you take one step back for the amount that you're taking. But here's the thing with magnesium. You have to find your number. Now, I take magnesium for sleep, but I also, in the morning, like when I had really bad adrenal fatigue, magnesium was helping me not have anxiety in the morning, right? Because my adrenal glands were pretty shot, and I was, finding myself anxious just out of the blue for no reason. And I've never been like that as a person. So I knew that I needed to, make some considerations. So magnesium is one of the things that I've used, and I do use it in the morning. But here's the thing, 7 tablets, 7. And you're thinking, what? Where is it? I'll show you. These are my magnesium tablets. This is Doctor's Best brand on IHERB. Right, these are them, and they're 100 grams each of magnesium in there, and they're chelated. It's chelated. These, yes, these are I got many of them that have got different things in each one, because I take milk thistle, I take espeladi, because my body doesn't really my gut reacts to really strong probiotics, which again, they're so good for you, and I love them, but you've got to work out what your body likes. And I was getting upset tummy. And I was trying to work out why. And same with kombucha. I used to love kombucha, but it would give me an upset tummy, and I'm trying to work out why. And I realised it's irritating my gut. Anyway, even though it's good, doesn't mean that you should be having it necessarily. You've got to listen to your body. So to actually feel relaxed, I'd have to take 7 of these at night time before bed. That's besides in the morning, if I was feeling shaky inside, I would take 2, and then it would relax me. That's without if you're having cramping, if you've got pain in your muscles. Magnesium is great for all of that stuff. And, but you've got to find your number. How many do you need to take? In my heyday, I was taking 7. What I did myself is I reduced it to 5. Did I sleep as well? No. And then sometimes I don't take them at all, because I just get over taking tablets because I don't really love it. But then, like now, currently I'm taking 2 at night before I go to bed. Does it make me feel drowsy or sleepy? Not at all. And I take a glycine as well. Glycine is very good for brain health and, to help your brain relax. So does a fat bomb. Having a fat bomb, I mean, you could play around with this. It may work for you, it may not, but it works for me. Some magnesium, 1 glycine, 2 magnesium, and a fat bomb before bed. Yep, sleeping like a baby. It just depends, right? You just got to find your own thing. Anyway, I'm just going to keep talking, so I'm going to go now. And please comment, say hi. Please say hi down below. I'd love that. It would really, it really means a lot to me, just chatting and getting to know my viewers. Yep, getting to know you. All right, sending you love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I hope you're winning. Make sure you give yourself a clap today. Bye.